and it's probably going to need fuel lines and the fuel line and everything that we need. Normally I have this stuff in my shop. So this is what I need. Who knows? It's not like a Steel or a Husqvarna. It's not worth it. Hey guys, I got a small engine video for you today. We've got a Craftsman leaf blower, nothing fancy, nothing crazy. It was given to me by someone. It just said it stopped running and sat in his garage for a couple years. You know, it's probably going to be fuel lines or a fuel filter. So we'll get into it, and I'm just going to show you how to replace fuel lines and a fuel filter on these little tiny two-stroke, yard implements. All right, so let's dive in and I'll show you what we're working on. All right, so here's what we're dealing with here. It's a probably like a 49 cc, 35 cc, something like that. Craftsman, you can see it's kind of faded. Craftsman Professional, 170 mile per hour leaf blower. It's a little dusty, a little dirty. Engine does spin over just fine. It's probably gonna need a spark plug, and it's probably gonna need fuel lines and fuel filter. I can see pieces of fuel line sitting down here in this tank. There is a piece down there, it was floating in there. So we're gonna get this off and see if it fires on gas. Just make sure we got spark and that it actually runs and everything. We'll do that first, and then we'll take a look at the fuel lines and everything, see what we get. All right, so I took the cover and the air filter out. Air filter is not the best, but it's not the worst. Probably have to get a new one of those as well. I did pour a little bit of gas down the carburetor. It does run, runs and dies out, so it's not picking up any fuel. I'm gonna go ahead and tear this off and take a look at the fuel lines. All right, we'll go into Tractor Supply and see if we can find the fuel line and everything that we need. Normally I have this stuff in my shop, but I don't really have my shop and my supplies right now, so we'll see what we find. So this is what I need, but I need the small fuel line that comes in this kit, the thin blue one. And this kit only comes with the 1/8 inch size, but I want the primer bulb and the fuel filter out of that. So I think I'm gonna get that and this. All right, so we got this Craftsman here apart. I took the air filter and cover and box and everything out of it. I'm gonna leave the carb for now. I think this is purely a fuel line issue and a fuel filter issue. So I pulled the grommet out here. I already got the primary line and filter out of the tank. You see the primary line goes through the big hole, and then the air vent line for the primer goes through the small hole. So that small line is going to run through here down to the tank, through the grommet, and then to the nipple on the carb back there. And then the primary line is going to run from the tank with the filter on it up through the grommet and then into the back of the primer bulb right there. And I have a new primer bulb. I have the whole kit like you saw. I got a Tractor Supply. So let me get that primer bulb switched out, the fuel lines swapped into the grommet, and then I'll get back. All right, so I've got the grommet back in. I've got the fuel filter and the new line down here for the primary. I have the vent here in the back going up to the back of the carburetor, and then I have my new fuel line here. This fuel line and then this fuel line here that I've got sitting here go to this primer bulb, which I replaced, put in right there. So we're going to go ahead and hook those lines up, bolt this back on, see if we can't get this thing to fire up, get it tuned up. All right, so we got this all bolted back up. The primer is working. Pulling fuel out of the tank now, pumping into the carb. So let's go full choke. I haven't even tested the spark plug. I know it has spark because I fired it a little bit earlier, just dumping a little bit of two-stroke gas and down the throat of the carb. Let's give this a shot. See if it runs. This thing sucks. think I flooded this thing. Oh, yeah. You can see that. It's not too bad. It's definitely flooded, but it's not the worst I've ever seen. So let this dry out a little bit, and we'll crank on her again. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's trying. About half choke. Ooh, this thing's stubborn. But it runs, but only on like half choke, so. And apparently it's pretty smoky. This thing has sat for, I think before it got given to me, 2 or 3 years, so there's probably some cobwebs and some oil and some crap all cut up in it, but I'm gonna have to do another video on how to tune these things, but I did get it running, so kind of. All right guys, so as you can see, we did get it running. This is exactly what I thought it was. Need new fuel lines and a fuel filter. threw a new primer bulb on there as part of the kit. I'm gonna pick up a new spark plug and an air filter, and then we will put those in, and I will get my carburetor tuning tools for these specialty screws. You need a specific style of special like screwdriver to tune these carburetors. So I'll pick up a spark plug and an air filter, and then in the next video I'm gonna take my special tuning drivers. I'll show you how to tune one of these carburetors with the new spark plug and the air filter, and we'll get back to using this thing. We'll clean it all up, and it's not like a Stihl or a Husqvarna. It's not worth a ton of money, but it should still run and serve its purpose. Thanks for watching this video. Appreciate it very much. We'll see you in the next one.